think the battery is like about to fall out. Okay. It's bugging me.
Welcome to the Desk of Lady Ada.
Hey everybody, welcome to A Desk of Lady Ada. It's me, Lady Ada, and it's Sunday. And not only is it Sunday, but it's a special Sunday. What Sunday is it, Phil?
It's Ham Day.
It's Ham Sunday, or Sunday ham, because I know that people out there, after they go to church, they have a ham on Sunday. And likewise, I also have some ham. I'm going to, oh good, the on-air sign went on. That means it works.
Yeah.
I just got my ham license. I finally got my ID a couple days ago.
Which license did you get?
I got the extra amateur class, and
I'm gonna ask that every time.
I can't remember my call sign because I just got it, but I can look it up. It's like AC2SN or something.
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember it?
No.
Shoot, I'll look it up when we get to the computer. Look, I just got it like literally 2 days ago, and I haven't even had a chance to do anything with it. But since I actually am now a licensed ham, I thought I would get a radio. It's funny, when I had my techno code, I didn't get a radio. So this is like kind of my first radio ever. And one of the things that inspired me to get my license in the first place was seeing all the fun that Travis Goodspeed is having with hacking the Titera MD380 DMR radio. And this is kind of neat, because it's not like software-defined radio, but it's kind of not software-defined radio. You have a radio that's 70 centimeter, it's digital, it basically does all the repeater stuff for you, so you can talk to people using ID codes. It's kind of like it's a little bit like a cellular phone system where you punch in a phone number and then you can talk to that person, or you can join a talk group. I'm still learning a little bit about DMR, so I got some of those words wrong. But it also has, this radio also has an analog mode, so you can do pure analog if you'd like, although I couldn't quite figure out how to tune it to a particular channel or frequency. But on the digital side, it seems kind of fun because you can, through the magic of code plugs and reverse engineering, write software that runs on the radio without having to build the whole radio yourself, which is, I don't really have time to build my whole own radio, but I do have time to hack a radio. So I picked up actually 2 of these DMRs so we could do 2-person discussions. Maybe AdaBot will get his license as well. So I thought I would actually show what's in this box when you get it, and then I thought I would show how to install software on it. So do you want to go to the overhead? We can go right to it. So this is the Titera DMR digital 2-way radio, and it's like on the side, it's all like, hey, you can go to TYT 888-888 for the most luck. Analog and digital mode, complying with Moto Turbo, because Motorola came up with the standard. Digital program, ETSI 102.360.123. Updated software available, that's the official software. We're going to go with the somewhat non-official. Remote kill stun activate, which kind of sounds way more fun than I think it is. I think that just means you can deactivate radios remotely rather than
I'm just
actually...
glad Etsy is starting to branch off into these type of radios.
That do kill stun?
Yeah.
Set radio to stun.
Knit, kill, stun.
Crochet. Color LCD. You can send text messages to, which kind of makes sense. I mean, it's already digital, so instead of audio, you can send digital messages up to 1,000 channels. There's encryption. You can't use the encryption, of course, in the US because on the amateur bands you cannot encrypt, but that's okay. We'll just use our in-jokes as a method of discussion.
Can you use Pig Latin on Ham's Day?
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can speak in any language you want as long as you identify in English. And I believe that these do the identification when you. I assume that you can type in your call sign, it will transmit it. I think I read that once. I wasn't clear whether it did automatically, but so instead of you having to say like this is call sign, blah, blah, blah,
Could
every
you
10
speak
minutes.
in Klingon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to ID in English or in
You can't ID in
intelligible.
Klingon.
No.
Okay, well,
No.
was that one of the questions on the test?
Yes,
Yeah, I thought so.
it was.
All right.
Okay, so anyways, so yeah, this is the VHF version. This is 480. Yeah, it says over here you could do 5 watt output, which is pretty sweet. 4FSK is how it actually does the data transmission. 400 to 480 megahertz. There's also one that does 100 to 150, but it seems like most of the repeaters are on this band. So you want to, if you want to take advantage of the repeater action, check this out. And these are pretty inexpensive. They're only like $150-ish. So you can pick them up from many ham sellers. Okay, so you get a Vox function. This is a little user manual, which I'm sure I will not be able to really understand because it's going to be like half English. And here's the radio itself. So Titera, it's got these battery contacts in the back. 5 watt tells you the frequency, tells you FCC ID and serial number. It's got like a nice little protector. Okay, and then, whoa, almost got whacked. You get a whip antenna. Well, it's kind of a nice, very long antenna, so long it's kind of hard to show it off. And this was sort of bent around. You get your stubby antenna. This is kind of what most people will be using, I guess. And you can attach it. There is an SMA connector. Oh, and it's nice. It even tells you the frequency. You can kind of read it. It says 480 megahertz on the antenna as well. So you can attach that. You also get a wall adapter. It says 12 volts for indoor use only. And this connects to the charger. So this is a little charger for the battery.
Does it have SMA out? Someone asked.
Well, it has it's the radio that's SMA. So you would, I mean, if you wanted to, I suppose you could connect this to a transceiver amplifier. Although I don't know if that would work because you'd have to have the RX and TX controls. Probably not, unless you're only transmitting analog or only receiving analog. I think you have to have like a switch that lets you know which way you're going, like the push to talk type thing. So you probably pretty much can only connect an antenna to this, and not, unless, again, I don't know why you would do only unidirectional, but that's from what I understand of this radio. I mean, again, you're probably going to be using it in digital mode anyways. Okay, and then this charger, it's like, okay, so it looks like it's 8.4 volts DC. That means it's a dual battery. So there's probably 2 cells inside in series for your 7.4 volts. That's 2,000 milliamp hour, 3.7 volt in series. So none of our chargers will charge this, but I guess you have to put this in, and then you can plug it into the charger. So it charges like normal walkie-talkie style. And then you plug this in, and then you got like a belt clip, so you can go to Swap Fest and look cool. And then you've got your programming cable. So this is kind of what the interesting thing is. So we're gonna put this aside. Programming cable.
Okay, and just to get this out of the way, because it's going to come up, do you need a license to use one of these?
You do in the U.S.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Done.
In Europe, it might be under one of the ISM bands. You'd have to make sure that it's within that band, because 433, I think in ITU1, it's ISM, but in the U.S., this is not. This is a amateur radio. You do have to have your license. It's not so bad. Get your license. I did it.
Apparently it's easy.
If a girl can do it, can't be that hard.
The girl.
That girl. Okay, so this is the radio. This is the programming cable. So this programming cable, I already looked this up. It doesn't have a PL2303 or FTDI chip inside of it. Also, if you look up in the schematics, you'll see it actually connects to D+ and D-. This is used for audio, but the pins are also connected to the data pin, so it uses both. It's actually, it's funny. It's a little bit like, these little these little mini iPods, which you can get, like, these little mini audio players. So there's a headphone jack, but the headphone jack is also used for USB data plus data minus power and ground. It just multiplexes it using some diodes and resistors for, safety protection. Okay, so we're not going to charge it up, and we're going to kind of put this away. So let's put this away, and we're not going to read the manual because we're not like that. This is a hacker show. You want to read the manual? Go to the non-hacker show.
Yeah, this is
not the style.
Pork-based product. Okay.
Only pork here. Okay, so install the battery. Press the push button, and this hooks in like this. Okay, so this is. How do you feel? Feel it? How do you feel? It's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the little screen.
No, don't take the screen protector off.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off.
Oh,
I know.
Why?
I know, but it looks better with it off.
Okay,
on
so
the
you took the
screen.
screen protector off.
Yeah.
All right, so now
Yeah, I know.
Oof, I don't like taking
It's
this.
not in mint condition now.
Yeah, I'm like, I returned it to Amazon. It doesn't work. Okay, so you have this radio, and then you can turn it on by flicking this. This is the volume knob, so volume. Here, oh, actually, now that I'm no longer unboxing, I can bring this down. And it actually, hold on, let's see if I can get it too.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Okay, there you go.
That looks good.
Yeah, so, oh, you know what, this really does,
Yeah.
you have to kind of keep using it. I mean,
I bet there's a mode or a setting that allows it to stay on the whole time.
yeah.
Okay, you gonna talk to someone around here?
Well, no, because the deal is with DMR, which is a digital mode radio. I think that's what the M stands for. Is you have to have an ID code, and I don't actually have one yet.
Okay.
So I figured that the people who assign, there's like a kind of a website like DMR Mark where you can get your own DMR ID, and it's probably going to take a day or two.
Okay.
And I kind of forgot to do that before I unbox this today.
Yeah, who cares?
So maybe next time we'll actually. Okay, that's. All right, so this is all great and fun. You can. It beeps a lot. You can. There's radio settings.
Yeah, do backlight and have it stay on at all times.
Always.
Yeah.
5 seconds. Actually, no. Let's just make it.
No, always.
Always. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Always.
Yeah. Confirm it.
Confirm. I did.
Okay.
Okay, squelch, intro screen, picture. Okay, well, there's all sorts of crazy settings. You can set it to Chinese.
I do that.
I'm not going to do that. LED indicator, it's on. Okay, so all sorts of cool stuff. But we want to do more cool stuff with this. Well, I think I do at least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reprogram it using this cable.
You just got it. You're already gonna hack it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
The good news is just a firmware hack. I'm not opening it up, so I can always bring the firmware back
Okay.
to old style. Okay, so on the side, you don't have to use. There's like a microphone here somewhere, and this is a speaker. But if you want to use an external speaker and mic, there is this connector on the side, which is this is going to be
Is it a mic and a speaker?
mic and speaker. What's weird is one is 1/8 inch and one's 1/4 inch. No, it's one is 16th inch and one is 1/4 inch or whatever the super small connector is. But you can connect here. Okay, you have to really seat that in. And then let's go to I guess computer cam.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do the try view.
You can do try view. I think it'll be fine. Eventually, I'm going to get to the text mode, and this will be a little difficult. Okay, so you want to start by plugging this in to your computer.
I'll go to the bigger mode so people can see it.
And it's going to come up, and it's like, hey, you have a digital radio in USB mode, and it's going to search Windows Update. Now, I'm using Windows, of course. If you're using Mac or Linux, it's probably a lot easier because you have a lot of the text tools and drivers are not required.
Can you input your call sign on the radio for auto identification?
I believe you can. And I know, but you still do need to have a DMR ID that you have to program in. And normally you use the utility, usually you don't enter things in with the keypad. And I think partially it's because they just didn't want to put in the user interface for that. But second, because you only do it once. So what you normally do is you use this programming cable and then run a piece of software from Titera that that lets you set all these settings. I haven't even looked for. I mean, like this is kind of like for hour one, so hopefully it won't break this. But you would normally run, from what I could tell, the screenshots are you'd run the software and then you would type in your call sign. You would type in like, you know, your friends, and only you'd set up your address book and your DMR ID and all that good stuff. Okay.
All right, so you did it.
Okay, so I've got STM device in DFU mode, and I'm sure like the first person who like saw this was like, "Whoa, what do you mean STM device? That means there's like an STM chip inside there," and there is. So if you go to this GitHub repository by PC Hickey or P Chicky, I don't know how to pronounce it, they have schematics even, which is really neat. So there's a lot of analog section, but you can also go down here and there is an STM32F405. Wow, it's like the STMs we know and love. So I believe this is a Cortex M4. It might be an M3. Almost all the pins are used. It's a little annoying because I was kind of hoping like, oh, maybe there's a whole bunch of pins that we can use. But you can see stuff like here's the USB section, D plus, D minus, I2S, that's probably the microphone and speaker, LCD, D7, D65, D4. Okay, so this is like a standard 8080 or 6800 LCD. It's probably one of the LCDs that are TFT chipsets that I'm used to using, like the SD7735 or something like that, or Himax or Ilitech. So that's familiar. So if we ever want to do stuff with the LCD, we know this interface is kind of well understood. There's I2C. There's a flash interface over here. It looks like there's a dedicated SPI. There's pins that you can, there's LEDs that you can drive, like TX LED, and
all right,
buttons.
Well, run Linux on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know if you run Linux, but you know, you can.
MAME. Doom.
MAME, yeah, I'm gonna Doom on it. Actually, you know what? You might be able to run like a basic game on it, but you'd have to really reprogram the whole thing from scratch. And a lot of the stuff that's been hacked with this is just putting in hooks. So instead of rewriting the whole thing, we just hook into like the button manager or the frequency setter, and then you can just reprogram. Just you run your code before the rest of the code runs. Anyways, so before we get started with that, I just wanted to upload it with the current version of the hacked firmware, which is Travis Goodspeed's MD380 tools. Okay, so Travis Goodspeed and some other lovely people did a lot of the work to pull out the bootloader using a null reference pointer, which is kind of funny, and then they used that to program in their own bootloader that was compatible to get the firmware that was encrypted, and then they would unencrypt it and they'd grab it, and so it's kind of a fun video. You can watch it, but the firmware is encrypted with XOR, so you can't. Well, you're not. It's not intended that you'd write your own firmware or reverse engineer the firmware, but that already happened, so it's too late. Okay, so we're going to run this tool, which will upload new patched firmware, and then we can try out all the patches that people have done for this radio. Okay, so I'm not going to go crazy with an image quite yet. Maybe I'll add my own image later. Okay, so this archive does not ship with firmware. Instead, it grabs the firmware from the internet, decrypts it, and applies patches to that revision. Probably because there's just no license for this firmware, like they're not permitted. So we kind of get around it by downloading it and then patching it, and then you can upload that to your MD380. Okay, so for Windows, either way, you have to start with compiling the firmware from this repository. So grab the firmware. We're going to just do a git clone. Let's run Cygwin. Let's go to the desktop. Okay. Git clone. And we're going to clone this repository. You can also download the zip, but I'm probably going to do a whole bunch of stuff with this, and I might fork and make changes and modifications. So I'm going to just clone it, and then into this directory, and I'm ready to rock. Okay, now I want to run. Oh, by the way, you have to have installed the GCC compiler and tools for, what's it called? The ABI, I can't remember the name of it. The ARM toolchain, which I've already done, ARM none EABI. So I've already downloaded this because I use this all the time. I have 4.8 and 4.9. Hopefully one or the other is what you need, but you do have to have this installed. It's not too hard to install, actually. Just if you look online, there's tutorials, and maybe I'll publish one as well on how to grab the latest version of. I didn't realize this was not a bit visible. So you'll need to grab the compiler. I think 4.8 is the one. So if you look for ARM compiler, yeah, Launchpad, Launchpad.net. You can grab the latest toolchain. So go to Launchpad.net and install that. And you also need Cygwin. I already did a video where I installed Cygwin and all of pretty much everything you could ever need. But that just gives you make and patch and curl and all that good stuff that you'll need to do command line stuff on Windows until we get to that bash in Windows 11 or 10 when they have that. Okay, so we're here, and then we got the STM and DFU mode. Let's go back to the instructions. Okay, so you also need Python 7, PyUSB, and libUSB. If you do any hardware hacking on Windows, I'm sure have this already because it's required by just about everything. Okay, find that command. Okay, we want to run make clean dist. Okay, great. So make clean dist. Okay, looks good. I am downloading firmware, and I've already failed. The good news, I did the make clean. It looks like it did a curl to download the firmware as a zip file. My MD5, some failed. I don't know why this happens. I'm guessing because I see this /r that it's some DOS to Unix carriage return new line. But you know what? You can pretty easily kind of ignore this. So if you go into the firmware directory and then edit the make file, this is just a total hack, but whatever. I just took out the MD5ing because I'm gonna just assume it's fine. And again, I'm pretty sure this is. I guess I only have to do one, but I'm almost positive that this just has something to do with the fact that it's in Cygwin and it probably when I did the git clone, it didn't do the carriage return new line stuff, and I don't want to mess with it. I'm just gonna comment it out and continue. Okay, this time it seems happy. It is compiling things. Compile. It has some complaints, but that's fine. It's probably because I've got direct address patches. And it has created firmware for me. So this is that firmware file that it downloads. So this is the official firmware, but we're not going to install that. Instead, we're going to go back here to this new directory, MD380 tools. 200651. That's today. Wow, it's a new month. And I've got this new fancy patched firmware. And not only that, but quite nicely, there is a Windows tool here. Wow! This is so awesome. Okay, so back to the instructions. Firmware installation. Okay, so now we actually have to go to the overhead to do the getting it into the right mode because we're going to update.
3?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so turn it off. And, okay, so attach the USB cable. So I did that. Great. hold down the push to talk and the button above it, not the button with the M on it. So this is these two buttons. So hold down these two and turn on the volume knob. And then you'll see red, green, blinky, or orange, orangey, reddish, and green. Okay, so that's good. And then back at the computer, it came up in DFU mode again. But maybe this is a particular DFU mode that needs to be in. Okay, great. So let's go to just computer vision, because this is going to be very boring. So I don't want to do anything. Okay, run upgrade. And I love this. This is like, I don't have like the right font, so it's like in Chinese, probably, but whatever. And this is like, every time you run software that's written in China, it always has like this font.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of font. Okay, so hold on.
It says, are you like sure you want to do this? And it's
This
like,
is Klingon, by the way. This is that Klingon.
I knew.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to, you don't do a bootloader download. You want to do a user program because we're not changing the bootloader.
Find that one.
So this is the original firmware. We don't want to run that. We want to run our patched firmware. And then you click, and then code file, I guess is a code plug. So that's where you could insert like a little chunk of code, I guess. And then click download update file, and it's like,
Zerble.
and dot, dot, dot. So you're going to wait.
Qbert wrote this software.
Yeah.
Zerble.
And wait. Are there any questions? It's going to take actually a minute to update.
No.
Okay.
Well, someone clarified DMR uses IDs, not call signs. DMR comes from the commercial world where call signs are not a thing. And then someone said they've been watching this channel for a couple of years, and they decided to major in EE along the way. Desk of Lady 8 and Pseudorandom are favorite shows.
I do know that there's a way to connect the DMR ID to a call sign, though, because I saw a video where somebody was using DMR and it popped up the call sign of the person, but maybe that used like this a CSV file or something. But I think there is some way to have it do the connection. But yeah, no, these are usually used for commercial. This is like for schools or businesses or construction sites or something. That's what they're often used for. Okay. Zeep.
Yeah.
I think that means success. But
Zerp.
I don't know.
Now what?
Okay, so you click OK. And you can close this. And now let's go to the overhead. Okay, so it's like, hey, I'm still in download mode, but
I know it worked.
How do I know?
Yeah.
Because then you unplug the download cable.
I hope it boots up with like a skull now, like hacked by Travis Kitschy. Oh yeah, look at that. That's exactly what I wanted.
That's what you wanted, and that's what you got. You want to see that again?
Yeah. This is way better than it was before.
Okay. So you want it? We should hack it to have like the Adafruit.
Yeah, we could put Adafruit.
We could put it's color. We could have like our faces. Okay, so this is part one. So what's cool is now.
Now what?
It has.
What can you do?
It has additional function.
Okay.
And you can like put it into debug mode.
Okay.
And then there's some Roger beep mode. I don't know who Roger is, but like.
Maybe it calls Roger.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can install a CSV file, which I think is maybe that thing that does the DMR ID to call sign. Debug mode, sweet. Promiscuous mode, which is kind of fun. So you'll be able to, I mean, you could always listen in, but now it really will let you, like you can.
We could listen into someone around here.
Yes.
The radio.
You always can. It's not something like sneaky. Like again, all the traffic is unencrypted. It just puts this radio into that. Oh man, you have to like.
Well, I mean, like that's like the first thing you want to do.
Yeah. So that's kind of neat. And then you can edit the DMR ID. So this is where I would put in my ID.
This is where you would put your ID.
So right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, which is totally not valid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete. But what I'm going to really do is go and get a DMR ID next.
Okay.
And then I can program this in, and also I can install this user CSV file, which I guess I think I kind of understand it. I think it's some like database of all users. Okay, so the good news is I successfully hacked it, so that's kind of nice. And Yeah, so I'm getting close. So I don't know what else I'm going to do with this radio, but I'd like to try it out, and I think this is a kind of a good beginner radio. It's a lot less expensive than I think the radios normally. Like it's only $150-ish, $170-ish.
Okay, Roger beep is an audio indicator letting the receiver know you are done transmitting instead of just saying over.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's like beep, beep.
Roger beep.
Roger.
Oh,
It's
that makes sense. Roger beep, yeah.
I just thought it was a guy named Roger.
Oh, I thought it calls Roger.
It's like M. Roger.
How you
beep.
doing, Roger beep?
So, so yeah, these are some of the fun hacks that you can do. So that's, I mean, I feel like if I'm going to get a radio, I should get a radio that I can hack.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to do a little bit more STM radio stuff. So like, what's funny is, we have the Wicked Feather uses the STM 32 F205, sorry, F205, not 405, but a lot of the code that we're writing is compatible, so I could add NeoPixel support to this.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be a good idea, but you could.
Yeah, you should add NeoPixel support.
Yay. Bleep, bleep.
All right, everybody. If you like this type of programming online, buy something from Adafruit. If you're in the chat rooms, I put a code.
Yeah.
But this is recorded, and so I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say that there is a code in the chat room if it's live.
Ooh, okay. All right, that's a pretty good Sunday ham.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be a weekly thing, like every Sunday.
It's going to be every Sunday from now on.
Oh, man. I don't have that many ham projects. This is like the only one so far.
Don't worry. We'll talk to people and we'll visit.
Yeah, maybe we'll get
all sorts
somebody's
of stuff.
DMR ID. Maybe, well, next week we're going to have a special guest in town.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
Okay, lady, that's it.
Okay, that's it. That was a successful unboxing and hacksawying. We are on air.
Adafruit Industries supported by you, the viewer. Please buy some electronics and use the code that I put in the chat room. You'll get 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Ham Time.
Eastern Ham Time.
Okay.
No one else is doing stuff like this, so
Okay. Well,
say it loud, say it proud.
When I get my
Adafruit.
DMR ID, people can call, and
Yeah.
then we'll do one where we just.
Yeah, maybe I'll talk to someone.
I'll have to remember what my call sign is.
Yeah, you can get a tattoo on your fingers, on your fists.
Yeah. I do want to see. Do you have to transmit your call sign, or is it transmitted over the digital? Because it's interesting. It's like, although this is a ham radio, I think it wasn't necessarily designed for ham radio. I think it just is being used by hams. But we'll see.
Someone says ham the planet. That's cool.
Ham the planet.
We're totally gonna do that. All right, that's it.
I just want to have like a little ham, like a little pig with like a radio and like eating a bacon sandwich.
Yum.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to sleep. We're going to go back to hacking tomorrow. I got a full week. We did a lot of stuff this week, some of which you will start seeing. Some exciting videos that we recorded will be released shortly.
Okay. Later, y'all.
Roger. Beep, beep.
Beep.